1949, Porky Pig and Charlie Dog cartoon.
Hark! What's that? Look! It's the towers! They're falling! Ah!
1963, Wonder Woman comic book cover. 1970, 30 Seconds Over New York, book by Robert Bacard. 1973, Godzilla vs. Megalon, movie poster. 1973, Superman comic. 1975, Cracked magazine cover. 1976, 9/11, a book by Thomas Chastain. 1976, Sesame Street magazine cover. 1976, Spidey Super Stories comic book cover. 1978, Super Friends TV show, the episode entitled Monolith of Evil. 1978, Dr. John, City Lights album cover. 1979, Meteor movie poster. 1979, Supertramp, Breakfast in America album cover. 1979, Saga, Images at Twilight album cover. 1979, Pakistan International Airlines ad. 1983, Def Leppard, Pyromania album cover. 1983, a book by Jose Borja. 1985, G.I. Joe, Episode 46.
You just stand right there, Sonny. Look straight ahead and hold still while we scan you.
Hey! Transaction approved. Subject's retinal scan matches no known dissident, subversive, or enemy of state on file. Have a nice day.
Hey! Come back here! This money ain't no good! It's U.S. dollars! Absolutely worthless!
1986, Daredevil comic book cover. 1986, Real Ghostbusters, Season 1, Episode 12. 1986, Dream Machine.
There's computers where the resolution is so high that you can never tell that it was ever touched by anything, which raises the whole question of photography as evidence of anything. I don't even think people are aware of how much computer graphics is used today. There's just a whole question now of what is real.
Create a new reality by adding an erupting volcano to the San Francisco skyline. Or remove the World Trade Center from the New York City skyline.
1987, The Squeeze movie cover. 1987, cover of Fortune International magazine. 1988, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Season 2, Episode 7.
Oh, bad news, Master Splinter. Shredder is up to something, but he ran off before we could discover what.
All we know is it had something to do with the Twin Towers.
Sooner or later, he will reveal his plan. Like, what do you suppose Shredder's up to this time? Michelangelo, you heard April's message. He's been spotted on the roof of the World Trade Center.
It's for sure he's not there for the view.
Hey! What is it? Hang on! We're gonna crash!
1988, Microsoft Flight Simulator. 1989, WWF.
'Twin Towers, take it, Mean Gene.
First with me at this time, the Slickster, Akeem, the African Dream, and a big boss man. Gentlemen, is this the match you wanted all along, or are you going to continue your terrorist attacks on the Mega Powers and the defenseless Elizabeth? What do you want? All right, thank you, Vince McMahon. Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, the lovely Elizabeth. Three people working as one with one goal in mind: to defeat, or should I say demolish, the Twin Towers. Hulk Hogan, you talked about the Triangle of Love. Jesse Ventura says there's a problem. Explain.
Well, you know, Mean Gene, you get right to the heart of the matter with that question, brother. It's the love, man, that's gonna supercharge the Mega Powers and tear down the Twin Towers.
Yes, man. What were your thoughts then?
Oh, yeah, Mean Gene, I can still feel the pain when that cold steel bit into Miss Elizabeth's wrist right there. And when her muscles were torn, my muscles were torn. When her bone was bruised right there, I felt the pain. Hulk Hogan felt the pain, and I can still feel the pain right now. And Hulk Hogan, that pain won't stop until the Twin Towers come crumbling down. Oh, yeah, right now tonight on prime time, yeah.
1989, Jason Takes Manhattan, movie poster. 1991, Terminator 2. 1991, Spider-Man comic. 1991, TetraStar video game. 1992, King of Monsters video game. 1992, Rugrats Season 2, Episode 14.
This hair, Cynthia doll.
Of course you do. And if you're a good little girl,
A Teenage Nuclear Fusion Squad video game.
Well.
A Rocco Mr. X exploding spaceship doll. A Beverly Hills Cynthia lunchbox. A pony. And a 9/11 emergency surgical kit with working stethoscope.
1993, X-Men Season 1, Episode 12.
They want action. They want protection. They want revenge. The mutant control law is passed, calling for an army of sentinels. They march over the nation, seeking out mutants, hunting them down like animals.
Surrender, mutant.
Some fight back. But not for long. The sentinels herd the surviving mutants into detention camps. The camps are your final stop. You never leave. Never! But those who control the Sentinels don't stop with mutants. Eventually, they bring their new world order to all humans.
1993, Super Mario Bros. The movie.
Look! It's Koopa's Tower!
1994, Iron Man cartoon, Season 1, Episode 5.
Unidentified warplane sighted heading for New York City. Our detection system shows nothing. Mayday! Mayday! New York is under attack! Intercept and destroy!
A force field is shielding the warplane. It's getting through.
It is time.
American defense and destroy the Pentagon with one swift and deadly blow.
1994, Aero Fighter 2 video game. (1994) Fantastic Four, Season 1, Episode 4. 1994 Viceland magazine article. 1994 Friends intro debut. 1994 Deathstroke the Terminator comic book cover. 1995 The Tick, Season 1, Episode 12.
We are under attack! Things so monstrous! Terror unleashed from the sacred cotton candy place of our dreams! If anyone is out there listening, get out of town before it gets to you! And I'm out of here!
1995 Hackers.
Beat that.
1995 Philips Home Cinema commercial.
Pictures so real you won't believe your eyes. Dolby ProLogic surround sound so exciting your eyes won't believe your ears. The ultimate home cinema televisions from Philips, including 100 Hz flicker-free pictures and widescreens. Philips, let's make things better.
1995 Illuminati card game. 1996 The Long Kiss Goodnight.
1993, World Trade Center bombing, remember? During the trial, one of the bombers claimed the CIA had advanced knowledge. The diplomat who issued the terrorist visa was CIA. It's not unthinkable they paved the way for the bombing purely to justify a budget increase.
You're telling me that you're gonna fake some terrorist thing just to scare some money out of Congress?
Well, unfortunately, Mr. Hennessy, I've no idea how to fake killing 4,000 people. So we're just gonna have to do it for real. Oh, blame it on the Muslims, naturally. Then I get my funding. Good night, old girl.
1996. This is a steal from Independence Day, but they show this briefly in the movie. 1997 Men in Black cartoon, Season 1, Episode 6.
Slim, remember those Twin Towers?
Yeah, what about them?
I don't think they're gonna be so tall anymore.
Oh, no.
1997 The Simpsons, Season 9, Episode 1.
Oh, I'd love to see New York. We could all go with the bus company's special Super Sitter fare.
$9? This one's on me.
Great!
And real quick, here's a clip from Season 21, Episode 20, which is a continuation after 9/11.
Is this what the framers of the Constitution would want? How many personal freedoms are we willing to give up in the name of security?
That blonde girl thinks she's smart like us dark hairs.
1997 Extreme Ghostbusters, Season 1, Episode 38.
I'm afraid it simply retreated in order to regenerate and regroup, readying for another attack.
Manhattan. Guys, I think it's time for some serious firepower.
1997 German Mario Bros. Comic. 1997 Emergency Response to Terrorism Self-Study. 1997, St. John's Cathedral. It has a Freemasonic sculpting depicting a disaster in New York. 1998, Armageddon.
Well, you know why? Because this is New York City. Anything could have happened. Look at that. Let me see. It could have been a terrorist bomb, could have been a dead body, somebody shot, stabbed. And it's Friday payday, too. Somebody probably jumped didn't get that paycheck.
1998, The Parent Trap.
How weird is that? Extremely.
1998, a steal from the movie Godzilla. 1998, Pirelli Tires ad. 1999, Batman Beyond, Season 2, Episode 12.
Vibration, it's gonna knock down the towers.
The towers are falling! Get away from there!
No use pleading. You're dead.
$1999, 7 days.
The defensive missiles will stay close to the building, so try to stay with them.
What's going on?
Boy, Red.
Throw me in, would ya?
Stand by, Nancy. That's it. That's it. Whoa. Hang inside. That's it? I'm so good at this.
And graphics suck. The best games show body parts blow up and stuff. And you gotta know you won. You know, you gotta have fireworks, buzzers, something, not just game over.
I'll see what I can do. Red, let's get this equipment loaded and take our show on the road. Cool.
Early reports indicate more than 50 people killed, including many high-ranking officers, and several hundred injured. How the missile got through air defenses surrounding the Pentagon is still the subject of much debate.
1999, Fight Club. $1999, The Matrix. $2000, Rugrats in Paris. 2000, The Patriot.
9 pounds, 11 ounces. That's perfect, perfect.
More like the Patriot Act. 2001, New York Magazine. Interestingly enough, it says, "Is there life beyond the boom?" And it also has the one-eye symbolism. 2001, March, The Lone Gunman.
You're saying our government plans to commit a terrorist act against a domestic airline?
There you go. Indicting the entire government as usual. It's a faction. A small faction.
For what possible gain?
The Cold War's over, John. But with no clear enemy to stockpile against, the arms market's flat. But bring down a fully loaded 727 into the middle of New York City, and you'll find a dozen tin pot dictators all over the world just clamoring to take responsibility and begging to be smart bombed.
I can't believe it. This is about increasing arms sales. When?
Tonight?
We've got manual override.
– 2001, June, just months before the events took place. The Coupe Party Music album cover. There you have it. That was more than 60 instances of 9/11 predictive programming. Simply too many for them all to be coincidences. Also check out Back to the Future. That movie is loaded with 9/11 symbolism. Also, if you have any other movies that I didn't list here, feel free to write them down in the comments. So that's it. I'm gonna get out of here, but as always, I'm gonna leave you guys with some awesome clips. Yeah, so share this stuff with your family and friends and try to help wake more people up, man. That's all we could do right now, unfortunately. So this is ODD TV. Thanks for watching.
It'll be 9/11 all over again.
Will you shut up about 9/11?
Kyle, why are you so afraid of the truth?
Because anybody who thinks 9/11 was a conspiracy is a retard.
Butters, do you think 9/11 was just a plot by some angry terrorists, or do you think there was some kind of cover-up?
Well, I heard that 9/11 was caused by President Bush. Butters, you don't really believe that, do you? Well, I mean, you never know. The government does some pretty spooky things. The government and the corporations headed by the Jews that carried out 9/11.
We are told to believe that the fire from the jet fuel melted the steel framing of the towers, which led to their collapse. But did you know jet fuel doesn't burn at high enough temperature to melt steel? We were told the Pentagon was hit by a hijacked plane as well. But now look at this photo of the Pentagon. The hole is not nearly big enough. And if a plane hit it, where's the rest of the plane? Whoa.
I know it seems crazy, but 9/11 was pulled off by our own government, so they could gain support for attacking the Middle East.
Dude, why would the government attack its own buildings?
It's called the false flag policy. Make it look like the enemy has attacked you. Get all your citizens riled up and waving American flags. Then you're free to invade any country you want.
That's retarded.
We control everything. We've all worked very hard to keep our involvement in 9/11 a secret. But you just had to keep digging.
Really?
You won't get away with it. People know.
People? You mean sheeple?
No way.
He was right. You did cause 9/11.
Yes. Quite simple to pull off, really. All I had to do was have explosives planted in the base of the towers. Then on 9/11, we pretended like 4 planes were being hijacked when really we just rerouted them to Pennsylvania, then flew 2 military jets in the World Trade Center filled with more explosives and shot down all the witnesses in Flight 93 with an F-15 after blowing up the Pentagon with a cruise missile. It was only the world's most intricate and flawlessly executed plan ever.
What you're gonna hear from me, you're not gonna hear from anybody else because, my opinions, well, let's just say they're not popular. 9/11? Inside job, plain and simple. All you gotta do is connect the dots, and I'm not talking about the dots everyone's already heard about. I'm not talking about Bush sitting in that school reading a book about a goat to those kids for 7.5 minutes after he was told the news. Everybody knows that. I am talking about a massive neoconservative government effort. It's been in the works for over 20 years. You ever hear of PNAC, Project for New American Century?
Perhaps.
According to them, the end goal of their effort is American global domination. Full spectrum dominance, they call it. Now, the first question that pops to my mind is, how do you pull that off in this day and age? Well, according to them, you do it in 4 steps. First, we must control the world's oil, especially the oil in Central Asia and the Middle East. Now, I don't have to remind you that Bush Cheney, they came to power with plans already made to attack Afghanistan and Iraq. Number 2, we have to make huge technological advances with our armed forces that for some reason include the capability to fight wars from outer space. Number 3, surprise, surprise, huge increases in military spending to pay for the above. $130 billion a year worth. Now, never mind the sick and dying first responders, 9/11's heroes, who can't even pay their light bill, let alone their medical bills, and a lot of whom are ending up homeless because of it. I guess there's just not enough room in the budget for them. Number 4, and this is key, we changed the definition of preemptive attack so we can unilaterally bomb the shit out of, invade, and occupy countries even if they pose no credible threat or had nothing to do with 9/11. One problem. How are you gonna put it into action? I mean, the American people are never gonna go for no shit like that, right? You're damn straight. Now what you need is an event. An event that gets everyone's heads turned around the right way. What you need is a new Pearl Harbor. That's what they said they needed. Now you're looking at a guy who went to 58 funerals in 26 days. I can tell you that is sure as shit what they got. Are you single?
BuzzFeed dug up an old quote from Donald Trump talking about a large-scale terror attack 19 months before 9/11. In his 2000 book, The America We Deserve, Trump wrote, "I really am convinced we're in danger of the sort of terrorist attacks that will make the bombing of the 1993 Trade Center look like little kids playing with firecrackers."
Predictive programming is a form of mass mind control, used to make the population more accepting of planned future events. The media you are about to see was either created or released before September 11, 2001.
The Lone Gunman was an X-Files spin-off, released in the spring of 2001. In its pilot episode, which premiered just 6 months prior to the September 11th attacks, rogue members of the United States government remotely hijack an airliner departing Boston, planning to crash it into the World Trade Center.
You said they intend to bring us down in the middle of New York City? I'm going to crash the plane into the World Trade Center.
About to explode. What do you do?
I just want to know where to put the camera.
This will not stand.
Oh, I'd love to see New York. We could all go with the bus company's special super sitter fare.
In the 1999 movie The Matrix, Neo is interrogated by his nemesis Agent Smith. In this scene there is a brief moment when you can see Neo's passport, and its expiry date, which is only viewable if you pause at the right moment. Chillingly, his passport expires on September 11, 2001.
The movie Fight Club was released on November 11, 1999, which in and of itself is an interesting numerological date. 11111999. Okay. But does the movie have a 9/11 connection? You bet. You'll remember that the movie ends with the bombing of financial institutions. This is done by controlled demolition. These last two buildings look just like the Twin Towers to me.
This is the teaser trailer for the original Spider-Man movie. It was released in front of the movie Jurassic Park 3, on July 18, 2001, only 2 months before September 11th. The imagery is clear. The World Trade Center will soon be targeted.
This was a flash arcade game where players shoot down planes heading towards the towers, and if a plane hit the towers, it would pancake.
Ocean's 11 was released on December 7th of 2001, and its controlled demolition scene had to be changed in post-production after the events of September 11th. In the theatrical version, the scene is overlaid with CGI. However, the original footage shot for this was of the New York Hotel and Casino, all filmed before the attacks. Did the producers feel that it was too close to reality? Or were the elites covering their obvious tracks? You can still see the original here, where you can easily pick out the Empire State Building. This is the World Trade Center Building 7, which is the only building in history to collapse into its own footprint because of fire. It was not hit by either plane. Amazing that it came crumbling down exactly like a controlled demolition.
This will not stand. This will not stand.
In the 1985 classic Back to the Future, at a scene called the Twin Pines Mall, we will bear witness to a sudden surprise terrorist attack, perpetrated by a group of Muslim terrorists. The attack is at the Twin, which is a reference to the Twin Towers. When we turn the sign upside down, the digits on the clock read 911 or 911. Also at this scene, Doc shows us two stopwatches, both of which display encoded 911s. Is this only a coincidence? The pines are the towers, and this symbol system is confirmed in Back to the Future Part 2, where we see the twin pines appear again on a projection movie screen in Marty's future house. Marty's family gathers around the movie screen, and the twin pines actually morph into the twin towers. This is because the twin pines are the twin towers. The pines are the towers. Pines, towers. And the Twin Pines Mall is the Twin Towers Mall, which is why all the clocks here secretly say 9/11 and why there will be a Muslim terrorist attack resulting in the destruction of the Twin Pines, or the Twin Towers. But the appearance of the towers is not a random backdrop, as we can see the Statue of Liberty lurking just as secretly as the towers, making this scene a secret recreation of New York City, where Marty's family has gathered to stare at Ground Zero. Of these three characters staring at Ground Zero, one of them is completely upside down. But in the entire Back to the Future saga, this is the only time when an upside-down character will ever appear. The hint being given here is to observe the scene from his perspective by turning it upside down. But when doing so, the Twin Towers are clearly shown to be falling down. In the entire history of cinema, this scene of Back to the Future is the most literal depiction ever made showing the Twin Towers falling down. So how is it possible that this scene would occur in a story that already contains a terrorist attack by Muslims at the Twins on 9/11, where the Twins are the Twin Towers, which then execute Hollywood's best depiction of the Twin Towers collapse? But Back to the Future doesn't just portray this attack, it develops into an elaborate warning about it.
I can just go back early and warn him. I have to tell you about the future! Doc, about the future. You will be shot by terrorists.
But Marty is carrying more essential information about the future. He knows the exact time and date that a tower will be struck.
Save the clock tower! Save the clock tower! Don't forget to take a flyer. Save the clock tower!
In a story we already suspect of being a 9/11 warning, how is it possible that this phrase appears on a flyer telling the future? Then, when the tower strike takes place, a giant flaming 9/11 is ignited in the street.
BuzzFeed dug up an old quote from Donald Trump, talking about a large-scale terror attack 19 months before 9/11.